Ali broke down how he mixed Roddy Rich's The Box, and then in these sessions I got to learn about the whole process and mindset behind why he does certain things in the mix and how he works with the artists, and just pretty much like the industry tips and tricks just to sound professional. Man, I got to the studio and Stamina opened the door for me.
What did he say when he greeted you?
Rolling up. Entertainment.
What's good, beautiful people? Daniel here from Rolling Up Entertainment. Today we have an extremely talented producer from the area, a producer, DJ and teacher. He's performed and opened alongside the likes of Jaden Smith, A$AP Rocky, Tyga, Jhene Aiko, Lil Xan, MGK, Anderson Paak, Wu-Tang Clan, HP BOYZ, and of course Jordan Dennis. He's also partied alongside the likes of Amine, Rae Sremmurd, Pusha T, and even Bruno Mars. And he's personally a massive inspiration for myself and the music community in Melbourne. Coming from Melbourne's southeast, I'm humbled to introduce Swerv AKA Swervslick P to the building.
Thanks for having me on today, man. I really appreciate it.
It's awesome to have you on, bro. You have an incredible background in music, and it's very uncomprehendable how many well-respected artists you've worked with here and overseas. So tell us about the name Slick P and Swerv as well, how that came into action over the years, man.
Slick P came about because it was just my DJ name.
Yeah.
I have a really smooth style of mixing when I play. When I play, I don't really think about anything, so it just flows really well. So it's just slick the way I mix.
Yes.
And P because my name is Phil, so that's how Slick P came about. And Swerv, the reason why I started Swerv is because I needed to get away from being a DJ and just more into production. And, it's just like swerving bad energy. Swerv.
Yes.
I thought it was a cool word too.
Yeah, no, definitely, bro.
And that's why I stuck with that name.
Hell yeah. And I'd really like you to paint a picture for the listeners over the years, because people can see you, they're like, oh no, he's probably just had good luck, or like he's maybe had good connections. But I want you to paint a picture of how music came about in your life, like just music in general, without even producing and DJing for now. Just how that came into your life.
Oh man, it's a personal question, man. I use music as an escape, more so because when I was in school, I was always the black sheep in my whole family. I was never really good at anything like maths, sports, all that stuff. Like forget about it, man. And then I was always looking for something to be good at. And then it was just, I found my first connection through music through dancing. So before all this, I used to break dance.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, I did not know that. I don't think many people know that.
I used to do that with my friends, and then that was my first real connection to actually finding a group of people that I could connect with, and my first connection to music. And then that introduced me to funk, soul, and hip-hop, R&B, and jazz. And then I was collecting lots of music, and then I thought, you know what? I actually understand this so well. I'm going to actually try and become a DJ.
Yeah.
And then I tried that, and I just was good at it.
Yeah, and was there a DJ that you were looking up to that you thought, oh, he's doing it, so I can definitely do it?
Not really, man. Most of it was like self-taught.
Yeah.
But then I met a friend who became a mentor.
Yeah.
And he lives in the southeast as well, and he taught me like a lot. And from that journey, it was just like, I don't know, that's how I started learning.
Yeah. Speak on that mentorship, especially at the early stages, of what that meant for you and how I guess that's grown you to where you are now.
It's having a mentor is really important because it fast tracks your learning process, and it helps you just helps you develop and grow and just meet the right people if you want to get somewhere within the industry. I mean, if you don't have a mentor right now, I reckon just go out and just meet people until you find someone that you can connect and vibe with, and then you just go from there, really.
Yeah, and do you believe that like there's many mistakes you would have made without a mentor?
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have progressed as fast as I would have, and without a mentor. But it's also really important to to figure yourself out as well. Because generally, what happened to me was when I got a mentor, I just copied everything he did. I mimicked his style and everything, and it was cool, but not really, because I needed to find myself as well within that process.
It's kind of along the concepts of like innovate, don't imitate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because like anyone can copy anything. We've seen it now in music, but it's taking that like next step to kind of make it your own thing. Now, speak on producing, because you kind of said how you got into DJing. How did producing come about?
So I got injured really badly through dancing.
Yeah.
And then so that's when I decided to make the switch to just become a producer. And I'd done so much through DJing already. Like you said, I've opened up for a lot of artists, and I've worked with quite a few of them. And I thought I also needed a new challenge as well. So I just thought, man, I'm just gonna start production. Yeah. And I knew I wanted to make music in my life, so this was just like the next step that made sense in my mind.
Yeah, nice. And you said you used to like collect music. Speak on the story of when you used to collect samples from Savers, man.
Oh, that was actually a competition that I did for Savers. So Beat Magazine hit me up. They said, can you, if we send you to Savers, can you get 3 records and just chop it up and make a beat out of it? So I went to Savers all the way out in Brunswick, and went to like the record section, and I just found 3 random records. Yeah. Took it home, cut it up, and I just made like a UK garage, like 2-step and like trap song. Like, it was pretty cool.
Nice. Now, over your whole, I guess, you've been doing music for a while now, and you said we've talked about you working with massive artists. Speak on the importance of habits and how essential habits are for you, because we definitely, a while back, you definitely put some, like, just planted a seed of habits where you're like, dude, just start small. Start small, build it up, and eventually it'll come and you build that momentum. So speak on how essential habits have been for you, man.
Yeah, habits is a big thing, man. Like, not only having habits, it's also time management as well. So first off, you have to get into the routine of just doing what you want to do every single day, because it's inevitable. Like, if you keep working at what you want, like, you're gonna eventually get there somehow. You don't have to know how, just keep doing it. What was the question again, man?
No, speaking on habits and how essential they are for you. But how does that look like on a daily, monthly, and even yearly now, because you've been in it for a while? So speak on a daily habit for you that you kind of do, maybe a ritual that you kind of do, maybe not even inside just music. Yeah, just a thing to kind of keep that momentum going.
Man, like, first it's about having a habit and then turning that into like a whole lifestyle. Like, if you want to like grow what you're doing, you have to turn it into a lifestyle. And so, like, I think it takes 21 days to form a habit and then 90 days to make it a lifestyle. So because I do music literally every single day, like, music for me isn't just limited to just sitting in the studio and creating. It's about like studying other people and watching other people and how they do what they do. It's about listening to audiobooks and reading things to improve my mindset and my outlook on what I'm doing. And that's really important, because you need to learn to not be so hard on yourself. And that also affects the way you create as well, as an artist and a producer.
Interesting. You said you were reading books. What type of, are you reading just music books, or what type of books are you reading?
Bro, everything, man. Everything that, like, just to improve my mind. Like, I'm listening to this audiobook right now called The Practice of Practice. And it's like, how can you make your practice more efficient? And how does the brain work so that when you go and practice, it's like you can adopt those mindsets, so you're doing the right things to absorb the most, to taking the most. So for example, a practice that I've been doing is, like, I've been practicing extremely slowly to the point where, like, the song isn't recognizable, and it's just so that I develop good habits and muscle memory, so I don't make those mistakes. So if you think about it, if you practice something really, really quick, and you make mistakes, that's going to be ingrained in you. So if you practice slow and you train your mind and your body to, like, do the right thing, you're going to nail it every time when you, like, get to that speed, when you get faster.
That's interesting. That's really fascinating. I never really thought about it like that, because people are constantly trying to just fast track their progress, and like, if I do it once or do it twice, I'll get it, and the next time I got it. But you're kind of saying, nah, slow it down, take a step back,
Yeah.
and like nail it, and then so is there like a perfection for you like you have to get to, or is there a certain level you kind of feel like that has to get to? How do you judge that? You know what I mean?
Oh man, I just judge it through how content I am. Really,
Yeah.
I don't really like care about perfection, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on that intuitive feeling.
Yeah.
Now, speak on your monthly and yearly habits you kind of have. Is there like a certain amount of artists you usually try and work with, like a month or like a year, or any particular projects you say you like, I have to put out a project this year, or yeah, speak on that.
Yeah. I try to be consistent through this whole process. I mean, in terms of releasing music, I've got a track coming out with an artist in Detroit.
Yeah.
Actually, she's the one that won the Reason Flick It Up contest. We
Ooh.
connected on the gram, and
I've seen that connection.
yeah,
I've seen that.
Yeah, we connected on the gram, and I mean, she followed me back, and then I've been sending her beats, and then I've got a track on an EP that's coming out very, very soon. So yeah, that's like really fucking dope.
Did you want to mention the name of the artist?
Yeah, Dear Jhene, look her up on
Dear
Instagram.
Jhene. Yeah, it's Jhene with a double I.
Double I, yeah. So it's at DEAR Jhene, which is JUNI.
Yeah, you would have seen like a bunch of artists submit their music for Flick It Up, so go check that out. But what does your song and beat making process look like? What's that kind of process from I guess even the idea to executing it out into sound and expressing it?
Oh man, it starts off with just a skeleton idea. Like for me, as of late, it's been like really nice chords or a melody that I really vibe with, because I have to start with something that I feel, and then I can build off from that. So the foundation has to be like, I have to feel the foundation already in order to move on. If I'm not feeling it, it's really hard for me to just continue going on from there.
Yeah.
And so I've been making music out of feeling and just listening, using my ears a lot more. But it's just generally, it's an intuitive thing, man. I practice instruments like every single day, like piano and bass. And then, I don't know, all those skills just feed into this whole process. And I don't know, my ears keep developing, and I just do what sounds the best, really.
Yeah, what your intuitive feeling is. And I think that's
Yeah.
always a common thing I keep hearing, just follow that intuition. Now you're saying you're playing bass and piano every day. How do you keep that momentum going? So you've been doing it for a while, and I think habits, I guess, build confidence to do the next thing and do the next thing. And if you're able to do your habits first, then you can do the next thing. So speak on momentum. How do you keep your momentum going? And if you do fall off, how do you get up from that?
Man, it's a lifestyle, man. Like I couldn't live without it.
Yeah.
So if I don't play an instrument or make music or do anything music related, I just feel really guilty. And it's just part of my life, and it makes me feel really good. That's why I do it. And I've got what keeps me motivated is having a really big vision, and that's really important to help me keep going on, even if you know, I don't get the desired outcome that I want. It's like I know that big vision's there, and so that's something that I'm working towards. So nothing else really matters. And for me, failure is like great. I actually love failure, because there's so many lessons that present within a failure, and then you know when you overcome that, it's like you've gotten better. And you know, I get a massive kick out of that. That's why I'm always out there just looking to learn new shit.
Do you almost like put yourself into failure on purpose sometimes?
All the time, man. Ever since I got back from LA, I've adopted this mindset where like I need to do something uncomfortable every single day. And so I try not to be comfortable, and because that makes you complacent, and you can't really grow out of when you're complacent.
Complacency, yeah. Definitely. It's if you're complacent, if you're gonna be the same today, you're just gonna be the same tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way I kind of interpret it. So how do you fall off from being in those failures? Is there anything particular thing, maybe musically, you might fall off for like a day or two? Like how do you ever find yourself, you're like, or is it just getting back into the studio and just throwing yourself in there? Or is there a certain like mindset or thing you say to yourself, or is it that vision that you just like reflect on? What really is it? Is it something you say to yourself, or kind of digging deep?
I think in my process, when I'm not in the studio, I find that rest is really important to my whole process. So it depends on the person and their routine. I find that I need to take breaks from the studio so I have clarity in my mind, and because it's become such a lifestyle now, it draws me back in, so I don't really have time off. I mean, I might have time off because I'm traveling for gigs or something. For example, 2 weeks ago I was in Sydney, and then I had like 3 gigs on that weekend, and it was just a lot to take in. It was like back to back every single day, and it takes it out of you because it's like 6-8 hours easily every single day, and then like I felt that my routine was being cut off, and I felt I wasn't feeling like I was myself. So
you kind of felt like different. Yeah, very different.
Yeah. So then I needed to reset, and part of resetting is like going into the studio and actually just doing yoga stretches and meditating. And that helps me put my mind at ease, and then I can just get into a session again.
Just kind of like a reset button, to kind of refuel and then just like go again.
Yeah.
Now you spoke on your vision. I do want to talk on that, but tell us about your style of producing or DJing. Would you call it a certain style or certain genre? What would you describe your music as?
It's different. In terms of production, I'm trying to craft a sound that's unique and that's not similar to what you hear on the radio today.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to explore different textures and soundscapes just to intrigue the human ear. And I'm just trying to push creativity and artistry through my work. I mean, I'll infuse a couple of different genres together just because it's cool, because I think it's wicked and it makes me feel good.
Nice. What do you believe the biggest struggles are for you trying to create those new sounds, and for producers in general? What's the biggest struggle because you're trying to create the next new thing or the next new thing for the consumer's ears? What's the biggest struggle in that?
I think it's finding your own path.
Yeah.
Finding out what you want to do and where you want to go, how you want to sound. Just finding out who you are and who you want to be. I think that's the biggest part of my process at the moment. And once you found that lane, I guess it's a lot easier to convey it throughout your music.
Nice. That's fascinating. Now, when you convey that sound, you're doing shows and stuff. Do you believe there's kind of a pushback on producers and DJs' voices being heard? Because you have, I think I've seen a lot in the scene where producers, they get pushed back, and the artist and the vocalist gets pushed in front, and like they're kind of given all the show, all the kind of, I guess, fame and clout, but then the producers are doing a lot of the work on the side. So do you feel that producers and DJs' voices aren't being heard as much? Or is that changing?
Not so much, because I guess when an artist and a producer gets into the studio, like it's kind of like a mutual agreement between the two of you. It's like 50-50. And and as a producer, where you sit within the spectrum. So, I mean, if an artist is supposed to come out and be on that track, then, it's like you don't really feel that you're getting pushed back or anything.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't feel it anyway.
Yeah. I was just very intrigued by that, because I see a lot of artists push, and then the producer might sometimes get pushed aside, and then people don't even know who produced the track.
Yeah, that depends on the deal, I guess, and like if people also give them credit within the release as well.
That's true. That's definitely true. Now, speak on your sensei school. Let's talk on that, man. That's the whole new 2020 vision. Speak on sensei. What do you have cooking up in there, man?
At the moment, I'm teaching a couple of students actually. It's cool. I don't like to mention this, but at the moment, I'm actually coaching like a lot of female like DJs coming up, like for the new generation. Like they're so keen, and they're so talented. I don't know, their visions are strong. Wait, ask me that question again. I need to give this answer properly.
Speak on sensei. What have you been cooking there? What have you learned from? You're saying you have a whole new generation of females. What are you learning from these new generation of creatives coming up? What are you learning as a teacher most? What are you seeing inside them that's kind of different to now?
Oh, like it's so much easier to DJ now, because technology is just helping them like come out into the scene so much easier. I mean, when I first started, it was so hard to get music because I had to buy it all on records. Yeah. But now it's like through digital world, it's like the technology's there to help them beat match. And it's also there to help them get music a lot faster. So all they need is like guidance and a mentor who knows the game really well to, show them how to mix properly, how to blend through, read crowds, and then just go out, get gigs and network. And so just by doing that, it's helping them get into the scene a lot faster to get gigs. I mean, it took me 4 years to get my first gig because I didn't know how to network. But then once I understood how the game worked, it's like it was so much easier to get gigs.
How did you understand how the game worked? Was there something you needed to do? Is there a thought you needed to change? Is there an action you needed to put on? What was that flick of the switch that you're like, okay, I need to change it up?
Man, relationships.
Yeah?
Yeah, relationships and networking. If you have the right network and you click with the right people, they'll put you on. That's with everything.
Definitely. I wholeheartedly agree with that,
Yeah.
man. Now, with your students that are coming on, is there a common trait you see amongst them? Like amongst these young artists, you're saying it's very easy to now integrate into the scene. Is there a common trait you're seeing with this new generation? Is there a specific style they wanted to kind of incorporate? Is there a certain DJ style they want to use, or a certain sound they kind of want to go, or is there a trait of personality you kind of see amongst them?
I believe they're all really keen and they really want to, actually, the first trait is they all love music. And that's the most important thing about being a DJ. Like, you have to love the music. And by loving the music, you already just want to play good music for your city. And because they want to do that, it's really easy to mold them and show them things, because their overall goal is they just want to do good for the city.
So it's already there. It's not something you have to kind of motivate them towards, or like that's very important, because as a teacher, you don't want just anyone. You don't want to have to try and force someone to love music or to force someone to DJ. It's like, if you already love it, we're going to figure this out together. It's kind of that mutual agreement between teacher and student.
Exactly.
And even mentorship. Even mentorship as well. That kind of flows it back to that I can't mentor you if you don't want to help yourself.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I teach is because I found it very, very hard earlier on to get this guidance. And I want to make sure that everyone gets a shot at what they want to do. And I feel it's really important to share your skills, man, like, because and it's how you connect with each other, it's how you grow, and it's like planting seeds now, because so the future can be a lot better for you. Like, my longevity relies on sharing information with everyone else. And that's the whole reason why I want to share. And I'm not going to once I'm established, the reason why I want to make it so big is so I can share with everyone. I can share my success with everyone and just see my squad, just everyone, we're all just laughing together.
Yes,
that's
bro,
like
yes.
straight up like the reason why I want to win so hard, man.
That's such a bro, genuine chills, bro. I connect on that so deeply, and this is just like nuggets after nugget. If you're listening to this, you gotta rewatch this. Like, straight up, like I find there's a lot of gold nuggets you're saying right now. A lot of new up and coming artists. They're like, okay, what can I do? And you've talked on mentorship, you're talking about music, talking about really cool things. I'm loving this. Now, speaking on your relationship with Jordan Dennis and the Operatives, both sides, how's that grown over the years, man?
Man, this is like all right, so I'll start off with the ops. Like, I've been following the ops for like a really long time, and for a while it's been my goal to be part of the Operatives. Because Jerry, shout out to Jerry.
Hey.
He's just been like, oh man, he's like I would say like the grandfather, one of the grandfathers of the scene, like pioneers of the scenes, like he's the one that's bringing out like the dopest fucking artists, like just that.
I agree. I no doubt. No question about that, man.
Straight up. And he's like the finger on the pulse, and that's why I've always looked up to him, because he's brought out artists that no one else has brought out before, and which is why I've always wanted to be part of this collective, because it's like, if you're a part of him, it's like the level of work, and like the ethics and talent is just like so high. It's like, damn, I associate myself with that. Ooh. Which is why I wanted to be part of that collective. Wasn't until 2019, so December or November last year, I got asked to be part of the Operatives, and it was just like a dream come true. It was cool, man.
Oh, that's awesome. And that power of association, man.
Yeah.
Speak a little bit more on that. So how I see it is, if you're around people that are winning, if you're around people that are on that next level, you have no choice but to kind of step up.
Yeah.
So speak on that for a second.
Oh man, I think being part of the operatives is a massive honor for the city of Melbourne, even for Australia, because I'm now a leader within the community in music. So it's important for me to set a good example and just do good things and just constantly stay on my A game. And because I'm setting an example for the operatives and everyone else within the city, I'm trying to uphold like the most,
Yeah.
trying to do the most.
Hell yeah, that's the mentality you got to go in with. Now, just talk on you and Jordan, how that has grown over the years, man. Because you're obviously, for many people that don't know, that Swerv does work with Jordan Dennis, who we interviewed a few podcasts ago. Speak on that relationship, how it's grown from being in the studio to even being on stage, how that an in-person conversation and relationship has grown.
Yep. I mean, I one day I randomly got a phone call from Billy. Shout out Billy Davis.
Hey.
And he was like, "Hey, I've got a rapper, and but he needs a DJ. Will you DJ for him?" I said, "Look, man, can we just like link up and just have a meeting, like
Yeah.
just so I could just suss the vibes?"
Yeah, definitely.
And then so he was like, "Yeah, for sure." So went over to Billy's house, and then Jordan was there. And then this is when like Jordan had no songs out at all, like he had nothing. And then I met him, and then like within the first 5 seconds of meeting him, I was like, "Yeah, I'm DJing for this guy, like for sure, 100." And because he had such a good energy and good heart about him, so I just wanted to help him out. And then it turns out that he's a beast rapper as well, so I was like a massive bonus, man. I mean that's the power of like good connections and believing in people. Like just work with who you vibe with, and then good things will come out of it. That's how I work anyway.
Yes.
But in terms of our relationship, it's like actually quite organic. We're like brothers. We're like bros, Like we live around the corner. He comes around the studio. I just like make beats. He just writes. Like it's just we're always up to something.
Yeah.
And when we're doing shows, it's just easy because we just understand each other.
Yeah. How's that stage presence going? Do you feel a bit more comfortable when you're on stage and then like he's come up there and you're like, you feel a bit more centered? Because Jordan did say that he was talking on when he's on the mic. He's like, man, when I know Swerv is behind me, all my like nerves just kind of come down, and I know I'm not on that stage alone, and I know I can put out my 100 because Swerv is like right behind me. Do you have a similar kind of connection to that?
Yeah, totally, man. Like we just have so much fun up on stage, and he's gotten me a lot out of my show. So like I've just been more confident on the mic because of him. He's forced me to. This goes back to being comfortable, just doing things that you've never really done before, which is for me jumping on the mic. Yeah. I've always been like, yeah, just mix, but like he's like, nah, you gotta jump on the mic, just like ad lib for me and stuff. Yeah. I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it, and that's helped me come out of my shell and have some more stage presence.
Hell yeah, man. Now just keep growing. It's that 1%, just going into that uncomfort. I love that uncomfort. Now, speak on your US trip. You went to LA. You worked with Derek, aka Mixed by Ali, who, if anyone doesn't know, he's huge. This guy is massive. He's worked with the TDE crew. He's worked with Bars. He's worked with Snoop. He's worked with Nipsey. And you were able to work with him and learn from him and be in the same room with himself and a few others on Smino's project.
Yeah.
Talk on that environment and that trip. Like, I'm keen to hear all on that.
The trip came about because I felt like I needed to grow and learn new things, and I knew I needed to nurture some relationships. So I met Mixed by Ali and his crew in London last year at a workshop, and then we went to the Do-Over in London as well, and we bonded a bit more over that. And then I found out that he was doing another session in LA in January, and I said to my partner, I was like, oh, I definitely have to go to that, And then but I wasn't sure if I should have gone to that. And then I thought to myself, man, like, just everything you've learned in your career, my gut was telling me that I should go. I should go just to show up and support the fam. And then I should, even if I don't get anything out of it, it's just to show up and to show people that I'm there.
Yeah.
And this is how I get all my gigs and how I get into things, because I just show up and show people love. And that's what my whole intention was. Show up, show love, and network, and just grow as a producer, and so I can learn different things. And then so going to LA with that intention, the story is actually massive.
I'm
a huge story, man.
Hell yeah, bro. We got time. Time is of the essence right now, man.
I feel like I kind of have to start it again, but I'll start off with like I first met Mix Barley last year in London. We connected over one of the workshops that he does. It's called Seeing Sounds, and it's where he goes out to teach people how to mix and do audio sound engineering, and like the mindset that he uses behind all of his work just to help him navigate through the music industry. I went to that because I felt it's really important for me to learn what it's like to think like someone like himself who's achieved so much, because ultimately it's my goal to get there as well. And so I thought, there's no other better way than to learn from like, a master himself. So we bonded in London, and we went to the do-over together where I watched him play his set, and that's where we also like did some more extra bonding. And then this year in January, he was doing another workshop as well in LA, and I knew I had to go out to that just to nurture the relationship that we have together. And I went just purely because I wanted to show up and show love and show that like, I'm here, I'm keen to learn, and I want to get better at what I do. So I just remember before any of that happened, I knew that like I only had enough for a ticket to head out for this trip. And then I spoke to my partner. I said, hey, I know we've only got enough for like just for the ticket, but do you reckon I should go? And we'll just make it work somehow. And she's like, yeah, absolutely. Just backed me all the way 100. So I thought, damn, like, okay, cool. Like, I'm going to do this. And so my gut was telling me I should definitely do this. So yeah, shout out to my girlfriend, LV. She's the best, like my secret weapon.
Oh, hell yeah.
So anyway, within that week of making the decision and booking and saying, yeah, I'm 100% going to go, man, all these gigs just came out of nowhere. And it just made it possible for me to do this trip. And so, going to the trip, it was cool because Ali broke down how he mixed Roddy Rich's The Box. And then in these sessions, I got to learn about the whole process and mindset behind why he does certain things in the mix and how he works with the artists, and just pretty much like the industry tips and tricks just to sound professional.
Were there any tips and tricks that weren't like as, I guess, technical that you could share? That weren't, obviously we're not like, there's not everyone that's listening to this is an audio engineer and producer. Are there any tips that he recommended in terms of industry?
In terms of industry, yeah, definitely, man. It's make yourself an asset, no matter what it is. So it's not just enough to be doing what you're currently doing. You have to do more than what you're doing. So something that I learned from him and how he became part of TDE was that, he hit up Punch on MySpace, because he needed a studio space. And so he said, man, just let me do something, do anything for you. Like, I'll go to the groceries for you. I'll be your studio cleaner. Just all because he needed the studio space to record Kendrick and the whole team and all the other TDE boys. And so because of that, he was able to get in the room with Punch and then also be part of the whole collective. So there were a whole movement together after that. And so it's all about making yourself an asset everywhere you go.
Yeah, and you spoke on like kind of betting on yourself with this trip. So you booked that ticket and you betted on yourself. What were you learning in that environment over there in LA specifically?
It's really important to believe in yourself. And because if you don't believe in yourself and you don't take risks, you're never ever going to grow. And also, nothing is ever guaranteed 100%. Like within this music industry, you can help someone out, and then during that time you're helping someone out, they might turn around to be like, yeah, 100, man, like, I got you when you're around. But when that time comes, you hit them up, they might ghost you. So like I learned that like, nothing is ever guaranteed at all. So you just gotta do what you can and just stay positive always.
Oh yeah. And what was that environment like? You were working on Smino's project. Was Smino in the room? Who was in that room actually?
Man, I got to the studio and Smino opened the door for me.
What did he say when he greeted you?
It was just like, hey, what's up? Like, it's like, what's up? And then I was just tripping, man. I was like, damn, Smino just opened the door for me. Like, so we got to the studio and then Ali like opened the door, and then Ali was just on the control boards. Like all the other homies were there just like rolling up and just kicking back, just watching Ali do his thing. I was like the only outsider that had come into these sessions, so I was like I was a bit in awe that they had trusted me to be here with them just to learn about the whole process. So it was just like incredible for me to like be there just to touch my dreams, because it was like it was an affirmation to say from God, to say to me like, man, your dreams are definitely going to come true. Like, you're right here right now. Like, you're here with the greats. You share the same energy as them. It's going to be inevitable if you just keep pushing. And it was just cool to see the artist, mix engineer and producer relationship all work together, and knowing like how they do things. And it was like a blueprint to my career, really. Like, seeing the work ethic and how much attention to detail they put behind everything they do. Everything's purposeful, and it was just cool, man. Life changing.
Yeah, you say that's life changing. Well, speaking before offset that you like it was life changing, that whole LA trip that you said it changed my life. What has that grown your vision? Has that grown your capacity to do more when you've come back and like do things you had to get out of your comfort zone, like we were speaking? Like, what did you implement straight away when you came here? You're like, okay, I definitely need to do this. I definitely need to do that. I need to work with this.
Definitely give thanks more, which is being grateful for what I'm doing every single day. So it's like just being grateful that I get to make music every single day. Because it's like these little acts of gratefulness that perpetuate more like success within what you're doing. You receive more when you're more thankful of what you're doing. And it's also, in order to be in the same room as the greats again, I'm gonna, I need to earn my spot back there again. And these guys are hardworking people, so I need to also work hard as well, so we all share that same energy and same mindset of working hard. What else is there?
Yeah, is there a specific goal, like team you would love to work with? You say you want to work with that crew again, the TDE crew mixed by Ali and a few others. Is there another team or like crew you'd love to work with in the future?
Probably YB and Corday and Jid, Georgia Smith, but definitely TDE for sure, because they're like, man, mixed by Ali, and like shout outs to Dan as well, noble gentleman, like the family, man.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Coming back. So when did you arrive back in Melbourne? From the LA trip?
About a month ago.
Yeah. Now along this whole journey of you, from when you started to where you are even now, is there one thing you wish you would have known, or one question you wish you would have asked yourself along this journey? Not something you'd change, but something you wish you kind of became a bit more self-aware of along this journey, like maybe even on your earlier stages or mid journey. You kind of get what I'm...
Yeah, it's definitely to live more. Because not everything is about just being in the studio. Just like go out, live, and just like do shit that makes you happy, because that makes you like relaxed, when you get into to create. And it also adds life experience, and that feeds into your music a bit more. And so like it's not always about being so serious about what you do. Just have fun with it, really.
Yeah, and do you believe for producers, because I see producers are obviously very in studio, they're very kind of boxed in. Is there a struggle that I guess producers and creatives go through on their own, you believe, you've commonly seen that I guess most people goes unnoticed? Because we see this glamorous version of the artist and the final product. But is there one thing that you commonly see amongst individuals that they really struggle with? Or even producers, something they're like, maybe perfectionism, or like you said, not being able to live.
Yeah. For me personally, it's getting outside of my head. So I think as a producer, it's really important for you to collaborate with other people, because that helps you build out ideas and helps you grow different skill sets. You're collaborating and you're sharing like a space with someone else, and you're creating together. That's what music is about. It's about creating with other people. So coming back from that trip, it's been like seeing how they work with other people. It's been my goal this year to collaborate more and not just be in the studio so confined and solitary. It's important because music's made to be shared with everyone. That's why I want to share some more.
I really vibe with that. And you just, man, your whole character is such a humble attitude. Like, even this whole podcast, everything you're saying is genuinely just about giving. You're just giving, trying to give people advice. And you're very gracious of what you've done and who you're becoming. Where did that humble attitude even come from? Like, was that something you clicked on, or like was it a thing from a childhood experience, or How do you believe that came about?
I think it's just part of my work, man. Like, it's like part of me, part of who I am. It's part of how I connect with people and build relationships, because I prioritize having such great relationships, and it's easy for me to connect with people in that way. I mean, just being humble and just being cool, being nice. That's actually how I got into the studio with these guys, how I got invited in. Just by being me, it's really important. And so I guess it's worked for me. That's why I just keep being this way.
Hell yeah, keep doing you now. How a common question would be to ask, like, what have you been your failures and how you've gotten out of that? But I'm really interested to see what your take is on winning, because you've obviously worked with these massive artists. You've worked with this whole collective of individuals. How do you handle winning? How do you, when you see that, like, I guess the W, how do you handle that? What's your internal kind of self-talk when you have that win?
It takes a while to process at first. I mean, when I came out of that studio session, I was like in disbelief for like a whole week. It hadn't sunk in yet. I was like, damn, I couldn't believe that actually happened. And the longer it took time to process, it takes time to process such big things. And I do it through meditation, man.
Yeah.
I literally just straight up just like giving thanks for everything that I've received.
What does your usual practice of meditation look like? Is it like a morning thing you do when you wake up, or is it you sit down, lay down, you're outside? What does that look like?
Just roll out the mat and just start doing yoga stretches and breathing techniques. And then that helps me relax and to clear my mind, slow down my breathing, and helps me just like focus.
Yeah. How would you recommend for someone that's never touched yoga or even any breathing techniques? What would you first recommend, or how do they start? How do they even begin this whole journey? Because people see yoga as a massive thing that's over there and they can't really get to it. But really, it's just being still. How do you go about, or how would you provide advice for someone just starting?
Just close your eyes and take 10 deep breaths. It's like 10 deep, long breaths, and just focus on the breath only. And don't think about anything else. Just like try and align yourself with that. Like if you stray away from your breath, just like recenter your focus just on your breath, and after that you'll realize like how much it calms you and how much focus and centered you get. Like I get re-energized from just doing that, and instantly when I open my eyes, like everything else is better. This is good.
Do you meditate on certain things like before a gig, or what's your get up before a gig? Is there a certain ritual you do, like, I don't know, smash a shot of whiskey or something? I don't know, whatever. What's your ritual to kind of before you jump on stage and get up? You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm just gonna tell myself I'm gonna kill it. Like that's it, man. Like just straight belief, and like I'm made for this moment, and so I'm here because I'm good at what I do. So I don't really think too much about it, man. I just get up and do what I have to do.
Yeah. Well, now when you're not in the studio, when you're not doing gigs, when you're not in LA, what are you doing outside of producing and DJing and networking? When you're not hanging in there, are you hanging with your cat Prince? What are you doing, man?
Man, straight up just eating pizza, watching anime.
What are you watching on anime, bro?
Boruto.
Yeah.
So that's like the next generation of Naruto. I started this new anime called Akame.
Akame ga Kill? Yeah, we
Akame
spoke
ga
on that.
Kill, yeah.
Hell yeah, that's a dope anime. Is that kind of like a reward system you give yourself, or is it just something that you're like, all right, I need to take my mind or just off the whole music, constantly hearing things and trying to like innovate it? Is it what's that? What's it for?
I'm just clocking off, man. Just clocking off and just living, man.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll go for like a little skate or like walk the dogs with my partner. Like, I don't know, just living, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. Now, where do you see 2020 going for yourself and beyond 2020? We spoke on that vision before earlier on. What is that ultimate vision that you see yourself, your homies, your music, your projects, who you want to work with? Where is that goal, that vision that's driving you every day for that hustle?
I ultimately see myself in studios working with really big rappers, because like rap's my thing, man. And I just really want to build with people like worldwide and just be a name, like a producer like worldwide. I don't want to just limit myself. I just want to be doing stuff for the community as well, like such as like just teaching people in my community how to get into the music industry and how they can pursue their dreams and how it's possible to get away from your day job and just do what you love, and just share everything that I know, really. I mean, so ultimately my dream is not always just about me. It's about how I can give back to everyone else. But I do want to get into the studio with really big rappers. I do want to release an EP, which is what I'm working on at the moment. I'm like one track off that one, so it's like really close. Yeah. And just collaborating, man, just building a lot more, like just to get some numbers on the board, really.
Yeah, is there any collabs you do want to do in Australia with specific Australian artists?
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm working with Denzel at the moment, Denzel M. He's pretty dope.
Yes.
Definitely Jordan, Rahel as well. Like I love her vocals, man.
Yes.
And Geneva as well.
Geneva, oh, nice. A lot of anyone from overseas you'd see yourself working with? Or,
Yeah.
I mean, we spoke on before with Jhene from overseas, but any large, I guess, top dogs that you kind of I would love to work with, or maybe even someone in the past that's passed away.
Yeah.
If you could ever work with anybody, who would that individual be, or group, or who would that be?
I mean, my favorite rappers right now would be AJ Tracy, YBN Corday, Jid. Definitely J. Cole, Kendrick, and them. Like, I love the whole camp. Bass. Like, man, this sounds crazy. I love Snow Allegra as well. Leela Drew, she's like this new vocalist out of LA. Well, she's been around for a while, but I love her voice so much. And in terms of someone from the past, damn, man. Big question. I mean, I used to listen. Oh, yeah, ODB, hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down, ODB, yeah.
All right. And so you obviously see these people as very successful in music. Who do you consider a successful artist right now, and what does that entail? Does it entail a hustle? What traits does that entail of being a successful artist?
Well, I think that definition is subjective to who you are and what your values are as an artist yourself. So I would see myself as being successful because I get to do what I love every single day. And that's enough for me. Yeah. And which is why I continue doing what I keep doing, because it's like, man, this makes me so happy. And so my definition of success for me is like, what makes me happy? Am I doing it? Or yes or no? And because I'm fulfilling that, I feel like, yeah, I'm on the right path. So, and for someone else, it could be like, making it big somewhere. And that's like their definition of success. So it actually varies.
Yeah. Awesome, man. And is there any specific person you're looking up to at the moment that's like, you're like, yes, that's someone I'm loving his work, or just someone you're listening to at the moment? What's some of the recents that you got on your playlist and you're kind of circling around?
Oh man, I'd say probably AJ Tracy.
Yeah. You're really vibing with him, aren't you?
Yeah, I fuck with his sound so much.
Nice. Do you have a quote or genuine thing you say to yourself every day you kind of live by, or certain saying, or certain, you talked about truth before? Is there something you live by every single day?
Yeah, just believe in yourself, like back yourself 100, and just be thankful of everything you have.
Nice. Now, one last thing I did want to touch on is the whole Australian music scene.
Yeah.
How do you see that? I guess how have you seen that develop from when you started to where it is now, and where are we going with it? Where do you believe the Australian scene, for not only just rappers, but artists in general, DJs and producers, and the whole network of individuals in the creative scene? Where have you seen that come from and develop, and where are we going?
Man, when I first started within the music industry, it was really closed off, and people didn't really want to share their techniques with each other, whether it would be production, DJing, it could be anything, even through dancing, singing, like, and that's back in those days. There used to be battle raps, when all the MCs used to rap against each other, even DJ battles and all that too, like with the DMCs and all that. But now that stuff's not so like common, not so prevalent anymore, because the community is becoming a lot more open to sharing, and with like YouTube and all the influences online and stuff as well, it's a lot easier to learn things. And there's a culture of sharing that's amongst us at the moment, and also the talent and that's coming out of our city. It's crazy, man. Like Melbourne's like legit like on the map for sure. Like I see like high hopes for our city, 100%. There's so many talented people, so many driven people out here. Like I'm inspired by them too.
Yeah, and is there a certain like level you're seeing us getting to? Because I don't think we can get to, obviously, with just in terms of our population, we can't get to the US level. But I think we're in the transition of the moment where our artists are getting recognized. You see Sampa being recognized, doing tours overseas. You see even Billy Davis and Jordan Rahal and Albert, they were just
with Tones and I.
With Tones and I, they were just touring. I think today they concluded because of the corona. But is there a certain certain amount of years you see us blowing up, or like just completely exploding, or is that happening now? How do you see it? How do you view it?
I think we're on the come up at the moment.
Yeah,
definitely on the come up. We're on a good wave right now, and there's lots of good music coming out of our city, and so it's gonna continue to be like that because we're so talented, and that's the foreseeable future, like in my opinion.
Yeah, awesome, man. Is there anything you want to close up with the listeners, leave the listeners, or any questions you may want to ask the people listening? Anything you want to leave them with?
Yeah, just live. Just live and be happy and just like do what you love. That's all I want to say.
Hell yeah. Anyone you want to shout out before you leave? Before we close this up?
Yeah, shout outs to my girlfriend, LV. She's my backbone, man, for this whole game. Shout outs to Peter, Daniel, Noble Gentleman. Shout outs to Dear Jhene, Jordan, Jerry from the Operatives. Anyone and everyone who supported me on my journey up until now. Like, I remember this shit, you know. I don't forget. I'm so thankful for where I am. Like, shout outs to yourself.
I mean, likewise.
Rolling Up Entertainment, man. Thank you for having me. Shout outs to Levon, the man behind the camera, like killing that, man. But yeah, that's it really.
Plug your socials, man. Where can people find you and Sensei? Where can they find you on the socials?
Find me, hit me up on Instagram, Bam on Swerv, and if you want to learn how to produce, DJ, or anything audio related, just hit me up on the gram. And yeah, I'll respond to you, and we'll take it from there.
Sensei spelled SENSE1.
Yeah,
right?
Sensei.
You can find us at Rolling Up Entertainment on all platforms, YouTube, TikTok, all that goodness. I appreciate anyone that's listened. You gotta re-listen to this one because there's a lot of dope gems, and someone that's really experienced and has really gone overseas, and he's talked to like Mixed by Ali, working on Roddy Ricch, the #1 song at the moment in the world. Like, and Swerv's worked with these people. He's not coming out of a place where it's just ignorance and naivety. It's actually true experience, one-on-one experience. And it's been a pleasure, man. I'm truly humbled to have you in the room, and I hope people do get some value out of this and roll up, man. Continue to roll up. All right. I appreciate you all. Peace and love. Let's roll up. Thank you, bro. Ooh, that was beautiful, bro. Hey YouTube, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you all. If you got any type of value, if you enjoyed the podcast, I would love it if you could go like and subscribe the video. That would mean the world. Comment down below anyone you want to see on the podcast, or any questions you have for us, anything you want to see. Peace, y'all.